Hey, what's going on, everybody? Thanks for checking out the Aaron Advantage and this week's episode of Real Talk Real Estate. I don't know if you saw my post earlier today, but I did post a little quick teaser with all of the rain that's been coming down. I wanted to talk about something that is pretty important for people who have basements, and that is how the heck do I keep water out of my basement? I've been in real estate a long time, and I've heard it said many times before that it's not a question of if, but when a basement is going to start leaking. So there's a lot of things that you can do in the pre-construction process, putting in perimeter drains and other things that are going to be a good way to try to keep water out of the basement if you have one. But today I wanted to talk specifically about some other things that you can do that may or may not even be things that you would think about. The truth of the matter is the best way to keep water from getting into your basement is to try to divert it away from the perimeter of the house as much as possible. I have an article link that I'll post in the comments after I finish up the show tonight, but I will go over a few of these points, so you can check that out whenever you get a chance. Also, if you know anybody who's got a basement, who's been dealing with any kind of water issues, make sure you share this video with them, tag them in the comments down below, let them know about this information, because a lot of these tips might actually be some money saving and some time saving things that could end up being a big game changer for them that they may not even know about. So let's get started tonight. As always, while I'm live, feel free to comment. Let me know any questions you might have about the topics I'm going over, or if you have any specific questions or other ideas that you want to let me know about, let me know in the comments on those as well. I always try to go through, check them all out after I finish up the live broadcast and make sure that I'm responding to anybody if they have any questions. So the first thing that you can do, super simple fix, one of these things that is often overlooked by a lot of people is add gutter extensions. When you have downspouts that are putting water right at the foundation of your home, that is one of the worst things that you can possibly have. All it is doing is dumping water right at the perimeter of the house and putting water close to the walls. If you got water close to the walls, it's going to start penetrating at some point in time. Water is a corrosive substance. It's always going to start washing out the perimeter of the house. It's going to start doing things that's going to cause it to leak inside the home. So if you just get a gutter downspout extender, you know, those elbows that go down, put it a few feet away from the house, add a splash block, kind of helps disperse the water a little bit, make it a little more diffuse. That's a great thing that you can do that's super easy, super inexpensive, and it does make a huge difference getting the water away from the perimeter of the house. You don't have to spend a lot of time, energy, or effort digging trenches or burying pipes or things of that nature. But obviously, if you want to go even better that route, that's a good way to go. But yeah, just extending the water away from the house, from the perimeter, from those downspouts is one of the biggest things that you can do to try to keep and ensure water from getting into your basement. Second thing you can do is you can plug any gaps. A lot of people don't realize that if you have any plumbing, like your sewage trunk line that's going out, or any, like your water main where it's coming in the house, a lot of times the concrete around those areas will start to deteriorate over time. As that happens, water can start to come in through those openings in the exterior wall of your home. For a little bit of money, I've got some notes here. You can get some polyurethane caulk or some hydrostatic cement that you can really just go around, fill in those gaps and seal it up real well. Like $20, you might be able to go through, find those areas that are leaking and get them sealed up real quick and easy. There are all kinds of videos that you can find on YouTube to do every project you could ever imagine around the house. I've actually heard a story where there was a woman who built an entire house by doing nothing but going through and searching YouTube videos. So I'm telling you right now, if you go and search it, you're going to be able to find great information on how to do this to make sure that you can plug up those areas and keep water from getting into your basement with very little cost. The next thing that you can do is restore the crown. And what I mean by that is you're supposed to have a crown of topsoil that is graded away from your home, which should help disperse the water away from it. As I said, the most important thing that you can do to keep water out of your basement is make sure that you are continually ensuring that the water is running off from the surface. The truth is that you're supposed to have, I think it's like a 6-inch fall over 10 feet away from your house in every direction. Now, how do you figure that out? It's pretty simple. You can go out and you can take a look, and you're going to be able to see if there's any kind of sloping away from the house. A lot of times, I've sold homes, especially ones with like concrete patios or things that over time, as the soil starts to wash away, it actually grades back toward the house. So what you do is you create a system where basically all the water is coming and pooling at the foundation of the home, And really all that's doing is keeping water against the house and making it more likely that it's going to leak into the interior of your home. So you're going to want to go out every year or so, take a look at the house, make sure that you're getting everything graded properly. You can buy some notes here. You can get a good cubic yard of water shedding clay loam mix from a landscape supply house. They put the cost estimated around $30 plus getting it delivered to your house. So a cubic yard is going to cover a decent amount of feet, or a lot of area. You can do about a 3-inch deep layer, 2 feet wide, over about 57 linear feet. Obviously, like I said, I'll link to the article so you can see those numbers specifically in there. But it's a cheap fix if you're going to go through and make sure that you got the grading away from your home, going the right way to keep that water away from your foundation. Other thing, obviously, is reshape your landscaping. Kind of similar to making sure you got the crown around your house going on. You want to make sure that it's shedding water away from your home. And there's a couple different ways that you can do that. One of the ways that's in there is that you can build a berm. Now, obviously, if you've got a lot of area, building a berm up is going to be a little bit more of an expensive route to go because you're probably going to have to truck in a lot of dirt to make sure that you're getting it built up high enough to run water away from the house. So there's other things you can do, like put in some French drainage, maybe put in a curtain drain, which is basically digging a trench that's low and shallow that gives you an opportunity for the water to just kind of be shed away from the house so that it's not going directly toward your foundation. These are simple ways that are more inexpensive than a lot of people think, that are super simple ways to keep water from getting close to the home. The easier you can keep it away from the house, clearly it's going to be less likely that it's going to get into your basement. And you know, all this talk is about basements, but here in Southwest Indiana, we also have a lot of people with crawl spaces. It's going to be a similar situation where if you have a crawl space and you're not getting water draining away from the foundation properly, it's going to get into your crawl space and it's going to cause a lot of problems. It is a very, very typical thing here on a home inspection to find water in crawl spaces that is standing water. It's on top of your vapor barrier if you have one. It can cause a lot of problems. It can cause mold growth and other things that can be issues. So if you're unable to get the water away from the foundation, obviously there's something else you got to do to make sure that you're trying to get it to keep from standing in your house. And the final thing that you got there is you got to pump it out. Obviously, if you're on a crawl space, you want to trench everything to put in a sump pump, put in a sump pit where all the water is going to divert to a single area or maybe a couple different areas in the crawl space where that water is going to get into a sump pit so it's pumped out and away from the house. Clearly, the best thing to do is to try to keep it from ever getting in there. But if it's already getting in, the best thing to do is try to do something to make sure it's going back out. Now, if you have a basement and you have an unfinished basement, one of the easiest things that you can do, and probably the most cost effective, is put in a perimeter drain on the interior of the basement. This has an estimate that you could probably put in a system for around $3,000 if you're able to do some of the work yourself. Basically what you're going to do is go in, cut a few inches in from the exterior wall. You're going to put in some perforated pipes so that water goes in, and you're going to redirect it to the lowest point in your unfinished basement. That's going to redirect all your water to a sump pit. Same kind of scenario where you're going to get it in there and pump it out of the house. Obviously, if you're in a finished space, there's a lot more stuff that you're going to need to do. That's when you're going to start really getting into some more costly expenses. But, you know, ultimately, if you've got a basement and you want to make sure that it's going to be a livable space or a usable space, and it's not going to cause long-term damage or problems inside your home, you want to do everything you can to keep the water out of your house. Here in the last week or two, we've had so much rain. I thought this was a great topic that we should cover because obviously a lot of people, especially when they're going through the home inspection process, when they're selling a home or buying a home, there's a possibility that they're going to be finding water in their crawl space or basements right now. So I figured now's a great time to give you some quick tips on things that you can do moving forward to try to redirect the water away from your house so that's not a continual problem moving forward. As I always say, if you have any additional ideas or tips, let me know in the comments down below. Always, if you know anybody who could benefit from this information, make sure you comment and tag them in this or share it directly to their page so that they can find some great tips on ways to keep water out of their homes. If you ever have any questions or any topics you want me to cover, you can feel free to let me know in the comments or send me a message or give me a call anytime at 812-779-6273, or you can tweet me at Aaron Advantage on Twitter and let me know what you want to talk about. I look forward to doing the show same time, same place next week. Have a great week. I'll talk to you soon.